we talk to the people in Israel or talk about them, but has anybody really put themselves in the shoes of the Israelis? This is on their border. This is what has helped keep their country stable. Dore Gold is here. He is the former Israeli ambassador to the United Nations and author of The Rise of Nuclear Iran, How Tehran Defies the West. Dore, welcome, sir. How are you?
Thank you, Glenn. Good to be with you.
Can you tell me, first of all, what it, when you heard that he might step down today, and there was no idea what comes next, and you see what's happening in Jordan and on Saturday in Algeria, et cetera, what is the average Israeli feeling?
I think there are really 2 points that come from the current developments that we're seeing. Number one, I think Israelis are concerned that the peace treaty between Israel and Egypt from 1979 remain something that is preserved. You know, we really do believe that many of the Egyptian national security leaders see the peace treaty with Israel as an Egyptian interest, and therefore we're hopeful that there won't be any change. But there are many new forces coming into the Egyptian political system, perhaps in the future, like the Muslim Brotherhood, who are already calling for tearing up the peace treaty.
No,
that's our number one concern.
Well,
number two.
Hang on just a second. I just have to stop you there. Our intelligence chief said today, no, the Muslim Brotherhood, they're totally fine. They're peaceful people. Don't worry about them, Dore.
Well, frankly, I'm just going to have to be blunt about it. He is totally wrong, and whoever prepared his prepared statement for the U.S. House of Representatives is totally wrong. How do you determine what the Muslim Brotherhood thinks? How can we intellectually ascertain that? We have to look at their public statements, and we have to look at who is coming out of the Muslim Brotherhood and what are they doing. You know, they have something called a supreme guide. In Arabic, it's called a murshid. And their supreme guide, Mohammed Badi, said in September 2010, just recently, in a statement that he put out to his fellow Muslim brothers, that the only way to create a new generation of Muslims is through jihad. And he said, we have to love death as much as our enemies love life. When he talked about jihad, he's talking about military campaigns. He talked about opening up the borders for the mujahideen, for the jihad fighters. Now that is not somebody who is moderate. That is somebody who is preaching a return to conflict. Second of all, who are the people that came out of the Muslim Brotherhood? There are 2 people that are important for our security and yours to remember. Abdullah Azzam from the Jordanian Muslim Brotherhood, Mohammed Qutb from the Egyptian Muslim Brotherhood, both of whom taught at King Abdulaziz University in Jeddah in the 1970s, to a young Saudi student named Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, it's
bin Laden's ideology and Al-Qaeda have their roots in the Muslim Brotherhood.
All right.
Very simply.
We just, El Baradei has just tweeted that Egypt is about to explode and the army has to save the country. How do you, is that helpful? How do you assess the situation?
Well, I think President Mubarak has turned over his powers to Omar Suleiman, the vice president, and hopefully they can transition Egypt safely and securely in a way that satisfies what the Egyptian people need. But, you know, military coups, abrupt changes in Egypt are not something that serves, I think, the interests of the Egyptians or our interests in Israel or in the rest of the world.
May I just ask you this, because we only have about a minute, but I want to get to this. This is a report on the Red and Green Alliance, and you can't get anybody in America to report on this. Can you explain what's going on in just London?
Yeah, in my own research institute, we wanted to understand how it was that Trotskyites and Islamists were working together to seek the boycott of Israel in British stores. And what we found was that this alliance called the Red-Green Alliance between the far left and Islamist groups had been born in Britain, and in fact held conferences in Cairo between 2002 and 2007 where this alliance grew much stronger. And perhaps you saw evidence of it in the clip you showed earlier from the Socialist Workers' Party. That's a Trotskyite party.
Dore, I thank you very much for your coming on in the program, and know that there are millions of Americans that stand against Mubarak and stand against the things that are happening to the Egyptian people, but also stand with Israel. I don't know how this ends, but millions of Americans are praying for Jews all around the world and Israel every single night. God bless you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
You bet. Back in a minute.
Punishing parents when kids are caught sexting dirty digital images. Should mom and dad face the music? Plus, Huffington in hot water was the idea for her lefty website stolen from Democratic consultants.